in Tokyo now. It's the middle of the night. I want to bring Juju back here as well. You know, we were talking about the reports so far, several hundred dead, several thousand missing, but that number is going to climb when daybreak comes in Japan.
Absolutely. Sadly, it may skyrocket. We're getting reports from the Kyoto news agency of 88,000 people missing.
They get this number, 88,000.
It's so hard to say. But you have to understand, Elizabeth, there's 1,300 miles of coastland that were affected by the tsunami that came in. We've got apocalyptic images. Take a look at this one of whole communities on fire, mainly because of ruptured gas lines. These fires are just burning unabated. In addition, we've got images of flooding that is just happening dramatically throughout the country. And we want to show you what happens when an 8.9 magnitude earthquake strikes. It lasted 5 minutes. Compare that to Northridge in LA, which lasted 20 seconds. The largest earthquake in Japan's recorded history hit at 2:46 in the afternoon local time. What followed was this wave of destruction, a tsunami 23 feet high, sweeping away everything in its path. Watch here as boats are swept away in seconds, then cars tossed around like toys, and massive debris fields surging across villages hit by a wall of water. At least 300 bodies were found along the coast. There are reports of a ship carrying 100 people being swept to sea. Stunning images of this giant whirlpool that formed just off the coast, sucking up everything in its midst. Waves of thick, muddy water then swept over farmland, whole towns inundated. Huge swaths of these family farms likely destroyed for many years. Widespread fires erupted immediately after the quake. Flames shot out of this oil refinery, killing at least 100 people, and homes were burning out of control, flames floating on water due to ruptured gas lines. 4 million buildings without power. The biggest concern now, with no electricity, emergency officials can't cool the reactor at one nuclear power plant. They've declared a state of emergency there. Although no radiation has leaked, nearly 3,000 people around the plant were evacuated. Despite the very serious concern, Japan's prime minister addressed the nation and insisted the nuclear plants are safe.
Some of the nuclear power plants have stopped automatically, but so far, no radioactive material or radiation has been confirmed to have been leaked to the outside.
In Tokyo, 240 miles away, violent shaking. Crowds of people rushing out of office buildings. An entire passenger train near Tokyo missing with dozens of people on board. 80 aftershocks have been reported above 5.0 magnitude, one of them a 7.1. This newsroom shaking in chaos. A meeting of government ministers looking up in shock. Witnesses shooting video with their cell phones.
It was absolute panic. The earthquake lasted a total of about 4 or 5 minutes. It seemed as if it was something like being in a trash can and hit with a baseball bat.
Airports are closed. More than 20,000 people are stranded in train stations across Japan because the subways, the arteries that carry more than 10 million people daily in Tokyo alone, are not running, adding to the historic chaos. You can see all of these images are jaw-dropping. This is the 5th largest quake the world has seen in 100 years. We want to share 2 images with you. One is of the tsunami coming ashore, unleashing that great energy. The other is an airport near Sunday. You can see the planes, the toys, the energy that is unleashed with all of this. Now, just to...
The airplanes, you say, you mean looking like toys. Those airplanes and cars looking like tiny toys.
Tossed about like they're toys. Right. And the biggest problem that we're looking at today is the nuclear power facilities. The 4 closest ones near the epicenter have been shut down.
They have declared what they call a, quote, nuclear emergency. Martha Raddatz reports that her sources are telling her in the U.S. government that even though Japanese officials are presenting a calm, we've got this under control front, they are in fact very, very worried about this.
They are. There's one plant that is experiencing mechanical difficulties in the backup because you have to understand energy, electricity is out throughout the country, and as a result they're worried about continuing to cool the reactors, which will continue to heat even though the fission is shut down.
And they have reported that it is continuing to heat up, and that's the real worry.
Right. Exactly. Physicists saying it was built to withstand an earthquake, but not one this big.